Good morning. Welcome to my Wednesday devotional. Happy fall, y'all, and of course, happy October. Can you believe it? We're almost done with 2023. Woohoo! A whole bunch of stuff has changed, right? And we got our government is still going for another 45 more days, so that's always great that we can continue. And all kinds of other neat things are happening with October 1st, besides the fiscal new year. But anyway, and it's sunny for finally, first time in like a week or two. It's been very gloomy and kind of sad around here in the DC area. But sun is shining, and we're gonna have warm weather this week. We've got going on, so that's great for us. And then it'll get cooler. Ooh. I don't like cold weather. But anyway, okay, so we are on Esther chapter 4, and last week I had verses 1 through 3, and I'm going to go ahead and read those just to get you caught up, because it relates definitely to our next set of verses. Okay, so really today is Esther chapter 4 through 6, but I'm going to go 1 through 3 real fast. Okay. All right, when Mordecai learned about all that had been done, he tore his clothes, he put on burlap and ashes, and went out into the city, crying with a loud and bitter wail. He went as far as the gate of the palace, for no one was allowed to enter the palace gate while wearing clothes of mourning. And as news of the king's decree reached all the provinces, there was a great mourning among the Jews. They fasted, they wept, and they wailed, and many people lie in burlap and ashes. All right. Verse 4 through 6. When the Queen Esther's maids and eunuchs came and told her about Mordecai, she was deeply distressed. She sent clothing to him to replace the burlap, but he refused it. When then Esther sent for Hathach, one of the king's eunuchs who had been appointed as her attendant. She ordered him to go to Mordecai and find out what was troubling him and why was he in mourning. Verse 6, so Hathach went out to Mordecai in the square in front of the palace gate. All right, so a couple things. Last week, we covered how he was weeping and he was wailing and burlap and ashes, which was customary back then. We don't do that now. But, it's not a good sign, okay? So this week, Queen Esther, who didn't know about it because she's deep in the palace, right? And he's outside the gate because you cannot be in the palace area with that burlap on. It's not going to happen. My guess, for a couple reasons, but remember, as we went through it at the beginning, this is a very beautiful palace full of like jeweled sidewalks and floors and all kinds of stuff, and couches, and these beautiful curtains, and marble everywhere. I'm just getting this sort of visual of like those marble pillars and those beautiful curtains that are just kind of blowing in the light breeze, and it's just beautiful and fancy. It's a palace, right? And he's no small king. He's a big, has a lot of territory, very wealthy and powerful king, right? So you can't have any of the burlap going on. So she was like, all right, let me just send clothing to him. That's what I would do, just give him some clothes, especially since, he's her cousin / uncle, because he adopted her, right? So he's her only family. So absolutely send him some clothing. But what did he do? He refuses it. Now, I hate to say this, but this is the second time where we hear Mordecai refusing to do something. So, and that can be good and that can be bad. It just depends, you have to kind of weigh your options. But it's interesting how he refuses it. Now, maybe it's so that he could get her attention, because clearly she's working through her maids and eunuchs. She's not directly having a conversation with him. And so I'm going to come back to that point. Okay, so over here, she ordered the eunuch to go to Mordecai and find out what was troubling him and what was he up to, right? So here's another piece to this. She worked through her eunuch, and made him Hathach the messenger. So she's not directly communicating with him. And I don't know about you, and I know this is past times, but in 2023 we text, we message, call, voicemail, whatever. We directly communicate with people, especially when it's your family. I'd be like, what's going on here? And of course, I'm a very direct person. I prefer to do that. What's going on? Tell me, you know. And so it's interesting to me that she's working through people. But my guess is that has something to do with the fact that he advised her, don't tell anyone about the fact that, you know, you're Jewish and you're orphaned and all this other stuff, even though it seems like the maids and eunuchs kind of know who he is. So it's a little fuzzy, I think. I don't know, you know. But it just you know, I think it's odd that she's not speaking to him directly. Again, that could be customary, you know. Maybe there's got to be some reason she doesn't want to be seen with him, and I'm thinking it's because of her Jewish nationality and being orphaned. Maybe she has shame, but actually she's also, we know that she was obedient to him saying, don't tell anybody. So, you know, I don't know. Could be a lot of reasons, you know, or it could just simply go back to the fact that everything in the palace is beautiful, and the palace doesn't authorize burlap clothes anyhow. But then it kind of doesn't answer, you know, why didn't she just directly go to the gate, you know? But then I guess you could say royalty always has servants and all that, and they do put a barrier between themselves and, you know, a commoner, as they're called. So, you know, there's some element to that, but it keeps coming back to, okay, that's her cousin / uncle, so why couldn't she talk to him? I don't know. But then again, I'm in 2023, so my vantage point is much different than, you know, ancient times. So I don't know. So we'll find out. So Hathach, he went out. Went out to Mordecai, and so Hathach is sort of the messenger, doggy in the middle here, finding out what's going on. So we will see. We're getting to that, the big turning point. Mordecai says something to Esther that is the key turning point in this entire story. Whew, that's why I'm kind of covering 3 verses at a time, trying to get us to this thing here, you know. Plus, I'm hoping to have it timed up with, you know, Purim in the spring. But anyway, what does this have to do with us in 2023? Well, communication, for one thing. Why can't people just speak directly, but in a filtered, positive, loving way, of course? That does not give, you know, some people interpret direct conversation as kind of rude or hasty, and we can't do that. You know, it's just not the way Christ has called us to be. You know, we are supposed to speak in love and truth. Somehow you got to work it in a diplomatic way so that you can speak your truth in love. I hear that a lot in our church Christianese language. You speak the truth in love, so you got to be able to speak, but in a nice way, you know, that's not hurtful, so that the person knows, hey, I care about you enough to contact you directly to work out an issue instead of going through all these people. Because, you know, and I've heard about that too in the modern day royal family. They work through their, you know, they don't call them maids and eunuchs, now it's courtiers or something like that. There's another word for it, but the handlers, you know, and a lot of people have commented that's just sort of cold, you know, especially when it's your family. You know, I can understand that if you're not related, then it's business, so it's maybe a little different. But someone you know, especially when they're a blood family, hey, you know, can we talk? Or how did Joan Rivers say it? Can we talk? The words of Joan Rivers. But anyway, just kind of interesting. So we're gonna find out, you know, what's going on, and then again, like I said, it could also be maybe he just was trying to get her attention by wearing this burlap and making a big sound and wailing and crying out in public. Remember, I was kind of asking that last week. It was like, why would he do that? You know, because we wouldn't normally see men walking down the street in public crying and hysterical. You know, it seems, you know, not like a masculine trait. So that could be it too. Maybe it was a way of signaling her and so that she would come out or find out what was going on. So we shall see. All right. Well, thanks for very much for watching. I really appreciate all your support and subscriptions and comments and likes and shares and whatever. I so appreciate all that. So anything you can do, I appreciate it. I'm just trying to spread the word of God somehow, you know, in our world of 2023, you know. It's an interesting challenge. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a great week, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.